Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Destiny May, and today we're going to be talking about how to stay strong on your abstinence journey, how to overcome lust. Okay. We're going to be talking about that because one of my clients DM me and she told me she watched a video about the abstinence journey, but it's kind of hard for her, and she's kind of struggling with it. So I wanted to make this video for you and whoever else is struggling with lust, is struggling to be abstinent and things like that. So I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I'm direct, straight to the point. Okay, that is my personality. So I'm gonna just tell y'all the truth. If you're standing for a God-ordained marriage, kingdom marriage, whatever you want to call it, if you're standing for a person that God has told you, this is your spouse, you're going to marry this person, this is who I want you to be with, whatever. Number one, God requires loyalty. He requires faithfulness. Okay? And he is not going to put you into your marriage and he know that you still struggling with this lust. He know that you're still entertaining counterfeits. He is not going to put you into this marriage because God hates divorce. Number one, he hates divorce. Okay. Number two, scripture also says that what he joined together, let no man separate. Okay. So if you are struggling with lust right now, then in the marriage you will still be struggling with that lust, because lust, this is a spirit. It's a spirit of lust that you have to get delivered from. Okay. And you just have to make a decision that you are going to fully follow God. You are fully going to surrender to God, to what he is calling you to. Okay. And I'm gonna share a little story with you and how I know for a fact that the only person you're supposed to be having sex with is your spouse. Okay. And that's it. That's it. So having sex with counterfeits, you are prolonging your stance. You are putting yourself in a weight. That is one of the things that God wants to work out of you before he bring you into this marriage. Okay? Because the truth is, God gotta know. And I'm gonna share with y'all how I know. Because one thing, and honestly, I can't say that I never had like a promiscuity issue, no. But I still was in fornication, so it's still something that, even with my spouse, me and my spouse messed up, and did it too. So I'm telling you guys and then too, that's another thing. So that's another thing too that I learned. That is the quickest way to sin. If you do it with your spouse, that is the quickest way to send your spouse back to the counterfeit. Like, if y'all not married, you probably gonna see this. Cause God will break it up. He will be like, separate, you did something you weren't supposed to do. It will kind of, how do I want to say this? If you're having sex with your spouse before y'all get married, it will separate the union. Like, you'll see right after y'all have sex, y'all just split apart. You know? So, and let me tell you this, because I think you was saying that you was still entertaining the counterfeits. Let me tell you how I know this too. I know this from personal experience. So this was way before me and my spouse even started talking. So y'all probably know the story because I shared it before on my page. If y'all are returning subscribers, if y'all are new, then y'all probably don't know. Y'all don't know. But so I had a I don't know what other word to use. Like I said, I don't sugarcoat nothing. I had a crazy baby daddy story, okay, with my baby daddy. Okay, like, you know, and before I had even met my baby daddy, I heard the Lord say, be single. I don't know how I heard it. I don't know if it was an audible voice. I don't know if it was just in my spirit, but I knew it. I remember the exact time where I was at, what I had on. I remember everything. I remember when he told me that. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I said, no, I'm not doing it. Probably like a couple months later, I met my baby daddy. Me and my baby daddy started dating or whatever. And that was the worst relationship that I ever been in my life. In my entire life, I was not happy in that relationship at all. Like, at all. It was miserable, okay? And so fast forward, I get pregnant, okay? This is when it's like the Lord kind of just like opened my eyes, like, to everything. Like, I could see clearly, like, I could see everything so clearly. And I just knew, that my baby daddy wasn't a person that I wanted to be with for the rest of my life. Like, I just knew, like, he wasn't the one for me. So I was like, I don't want to be in a relationship. Like, can we just co-parent? And then everything just went crazy. And I ended up having to get the restraining order. And, I was threatened, for my life while pregnant with his child. So everything was just super, super crazy. But honestly, it was my biggest blessing. And if I had to do it all over again the same way, I would do it the same way. Because I learned so much about God. I learned God as a protector. I learned God as, like, just I think that's when he really taught me how much of a protector he was, but I do understand. I was telling a young lady this, because I'm starting to understand that when God sends me people, it's like that's what he be wanting me to talk about. I met a young lady the other day, and she was going through a domestic violence situation. And I told her, I said, girl, you got to leave that situation alone. You got to leave that man alone. He's sitting outside your house. He, acting very controlling. He's doing certain things. You got to get out. He's being violent toward you. No, you need to get a restraining order. We don't play around. It's too many girls, and I be telling people that my grace may not be your grace. You know what I'm saying? It's too many young girls that is losing their life over nonsense with these men. So you can't play around with it. And that's why I learned my lesson. I learned that if God tells me to be single, if he tell me he don't want me to be with a particular person, I'm going to listen to him. Because you can lose your life. You can lose your life being with the wrong person. And I just learned, like, we as humans, we think we know like what's best for us. We think we know how to choose people. We think this, but I remember when I repented and I said, Lord, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry for, like, being disobedient to you and not listening to you. I would never do that again. And I, baby, after that, I never did nothing like that ever again. Like, if he told me, that's not it, then no. You know what I'm saying? So, I said all that to say that if you are still entertaining a counterfeit, counterfeits come from the devil. They come to steal, kill, and to destroy. So you will never be happy with a person that God did not intend for you to be with, that God did not create you to be with. You will never be happy. You will never be, your needs would never be met. You would never be happy with them. Like, you would be drained. Like, in that relationship, I felt so drained. I felt more peace when he was away. Like, that's crazy, but I did. As soon as we broke up, I felt so much peace. Like, I felt so good. So, you know, if you still having sex with a counterfeit, that's the enemy, okay? And then another thing is just like, you know, you just have to make a decision that you're going to follow God. You're going to surrender. You know, you're going to give your life to him. You're going to do it his way. You know, the Bible say, you know, you let your yes be yes, let your no be no. Like, you can't be one foot in, one foot out. Like, if you going to do it, you going to do it. You know what I'm saying? If you going to obey God, you're going to obey God. You know? And so, just be obedient, because that's like scripture, you know, what the Bible say, like, the wages of sin is death. The wages of sin is death. So anytime you do something that's opposite of what God is telling you to do, what he has told you to do, is death. It's in some type of death. Okay? You're going to get some type of consequence that you don't want. You don't want. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of it, you're going to be like, Lord, I wish I would have just listened. I wish I would have just did what you told me to do. You know, that's what you're going to be saying. So just do what he's telling you to do. Like, and then too, oh yeah, because I was talking about that and then I got on a whole different. Okay, the thing is, because this is what I want to say, because, and I know that this is true too. So the whole reason why I had said that story is because I learned a whole bunch from that experience with my baby dad. But I think the major thing too that I learned from that experience, because, you know, God told me to be single. But then I remember I was on the toilet. I was pregnant. I was like 7 months pregnant. And I told the Lord, I was like, okay, Lord, I apologize. I'm so sorry for what I did. But I was like, Lord, just please send me my husband, you know. I was like, I'll be single, you know, until you see my husband. And so I got the revelation at that moment that if I wasn't with my husband, if I wasn't with the person who God wanted me to be with, then I was supposed to remain single. I was not supposed to be just entertaining random people and random stuff just to fill my time up. My baby daddy taught me that. Because my baby daddy taught me what a counterfeit was. Come from the enemy. Okay? Come to steal, kill, and destroy. So I learned that. Okay? All the counterfeit gonna do is suck your energy up. That's it. Give you okay, headaches and that's it. That's all the counterfeit gonna do. That's all. That's it. So I learned that. But this is one thing that I want to say, because God, he told me this, okay? And this is another reason why you need to start practicing this abstinence and this celibacy. It's the reason that I said earlier. It's because God is going to test you. Understands God is testing you, boo. He's testing you. He got to make sure that you are ready, you are equipped for this marriage. He got to make sure that what he put together don't separate. So he going to test you, okay? And he used to do little tests with me. Like they was real minor though in the beginning. Like, you know, he would have like, you know, counterfeits trying to talk to me, give out my number, you know, ask me for my number or whatever. DMing, stuff like that. That's easy to me. That's nothing. You know what I'm saying? I passed that like a champ. You know what I mean? I'm good at that. I got it, you know? But now, this when it got hard. This when I'm like, okay, God, you just love on a whole different level. Like, buddy, I don't, you know what I'm saying? So, and he spoke this to me. So, I don't know if I want to share this or not, but I'm going to share it. So, I'm standing. I'm standing, right? And I don't know. I think this year 2. This is when I found this out. Year 2, 2024. I had this dream, y'all. And God told me in my dream. He told me in my dream. He said, still, it's what he said. It was a man. I didn't know who this man was, but I know it was God now. But in the dream, he said, still be loyal to your spouse. And I told him in the dream, I said, I have been loyal to him for 2 years. But I said, when I seen, I ain't gonna, well, I might tell you what I seen. I said, when I see him with another woman, I don't care no more. I said, I don't care anymore. That's what I said in the dream. And at that time, I didn't even know that my heart was like in the heart posture of not, I don't want to curse on her, but not GAF. Okay? I didn't know that my heart was there, but God revealed that to me in that dream. Like, I'm like, I just don't care. Like, cause when you see your spouse, like when you see the man that you love with another woman, like, that is so heartbreaking. You know, and then when you find out that, like, this wasn't after you, this was when you was with the person, like, that is crazy. Like, I'm like, buddy, you got it. You know? I'm like, God, I was trying to get God to make a deal with me. I said, Lord, okay, I still pray for him. You know, I will pray whatever prayer you want me to say for this man. Okay, I will still pray. I will still do what you asked me to do in that regard. But I said, Lord, please release me. Please release me from this. I cannot do this anymore. I can't do it. Okay? I can't do it. I said, obviously, he wanted to do that. I'm like, let him go do that and let me do me. Please. But y'all, the only thing that was still keeping me is because of this fear of the Lord and what God had already taught me about counterfeits. So I'm just asking the Lord, please just send me somebody else, Lord. Please, please, Lord. The Lord came in that dream. He talking about some still be loyal to your spouse. When I say I was pissed, y'all, I was so annoyed. I think that's not the first time that I've been mad with God, but this time I was annoyed with God because I'm just like, God, what do you see? Like, I'm not understanding this. You telling me, Destiny May, to be loyal. And that's what I told him in the dream. I said, I have been for 2 years. At that time when I had the dream, it had been 2 years. This February, I've been standing for 3 years. But I was like, I've been loyal for 2 years. I said, you need to be telling him that. Like, why are you talking to me? Why are you talking to me? I know how to be loyal. I know how to be faithful. I know how to do that. And I'm like, I know that you know that I know how to do that because you're watching me. Okay? So I was upset. I was super, super upset. And I was like, are you telling him this? Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the one you need to be talking to. So, fast forward, right? I was upset with him. Okay? Fast forward to the next week, I end up understanding. Because at first, I didn't get it. I did not understand. I'm like, God, I just found all this stuff out. And you want me to be loyal. Because I was getting that feeling like, I'm finna do me. Forget this whole promise. Forget this whole thing. Okay, I'm finna do me. Like, he doing him, I'm finna do me. You know what I'm saying? He been doing him. So, anyways. But at the back of my head, it's this fear of the Lord that's keeping me. That's one thing I could say, that you definitely need to be with a person who had a fear of the Lord, because it's the fear of the Lord that's preventing me from doing, anything stupid or just anything. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what God, I know that I'm not supposed to be doing nothing with no counterfeit. So anyways, fast forward to the next week. Okay. Y'all remember when I said before he used to just give me minimal tests. Okay. Baby, when I say the next week, everywhere that I went, everything that I did, everything, it was a counterfeit trying to talk to me. I mean, it was just crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. Everything, everywhere that I went, everything that I did in my DM, on Facebook, this, and this, it was everywhere. Right? And I'm sitting saying no. And I'm just ignoring everything. And then too, y'all, at this time, I was in coaching too. I was in an academy. Okay, God Ordained Marriage Academy. I was in that academy. And I was asking my coach, like, what do you think? Like, why? And she helped me to understand. Okay. So, God, because I didn't get it. So, it's easy, like, at least for me. Okay. It's easy for me to pass a test, like, turning down counterfeits when, of course, my spouse had hurt my feelings before. Yes, he did. He had hurt my feelings before. And I was still loyal. Okay. I was still loyal, But God want to see. Because throughout the whole stance, it have never been like this, though. Like, this was crazy, okay? God gonna test you. He gonna test you. He gonna see. I want to see. This is God. I want to see that even when your spouse hurts you to the core, are you still going to be faithful? Are you still going to be loyal? Are you still going to pray for this person? Are you still going to keep loving? What are you going to do? God is watching you. He's testing you to see how you're going to respond. If you pass it, you pass it. If you fail it, you're going to have to take the lesson over and over and over again until you pass it. So, and I passed with flying colors, okay? But anyways, like, basically what I'm saying is how to stay strong on this abstinence journey, like, while you're standing, is to, number one, know that You are prolonging your marriage journey. This lust and all of this is something that God wants to deliver you from and bring out of you before you get into your marriage, because he doesn't want any infidelity. He doesn't want any cheating or anything that could break his marriage apart. That's the whole reason why he got you, well, not the whole reason, but he got you practicing celibacy right now, or I'm sorry, abstinence right now, so that when you get in your marriage, you're not cheating on your partner just because y'all got into an argument. You know what I'm saying? And then too, God is testing you. He's testing you, to see, even when you are extremely hurt by this person, what you gonna do? And then too, y'all, that was too much for me, okay? God's love. He loved too much for me. His love is too much for me. Because I'm like, to ask that of me, and I've been the faithful one. His love is it's a lot. It's too much. It'd be too much for me. But yeah, he love on a whole different level. And then I really think too, he want to teach you too. Like, let's say you see something like that. Like, let's say you see your spouse with another person. I pray to God you'll never have to see it. Okay? I pray to God, because that could turn you off, and that could make you just be like, I don't want this whole thing no more, and God will have to come in and try to get your heart back towards your spouse. But it's rough. But anyways, so what was I even saying? I don't know. I pray that nobody ever got to see that, for real. But yeah, you're going to have to rebuke the spirit of lust off of yourself in the name of Jesus, and remove every counterfeit that you're texting, talking to, sleeping with, whatever, just to like fill in the time until your spouse comes back or whatever. You gotta let that go. If it ain't your spouse, you shouldn't be entertaining it, period. God do not want you to be entertaining anyone that is not for you, okay? Who he don't want you to be with. So you just got to make a decision. Are you going to follow God, or are you not? Are you going to be obedient to God, or are you not? Because do you love God, or don't you? Because God said, if you love me, you keep my commands. You obey me. You listen to me. It say, if you love me, you keep my commands, right? And I truly believe that, too. I think that sometimes, because this is what I had to learn, because I remember, see this, I could just keep going back to that story because it just taught me so much. When God had first told me, be single, and I had told him no, the reason why I said no was because my perception of God was, at that time, was he is mean. He trying to stop me from having fun. My perception of him was like, he don't want me to be in a relationship. Like, I don't know, I just had the wrong perception of him. And sometimes, because the scriptures say, what I just said, it says, if you love me, you will obey my commands, right? But it also say that we love him because he loved us first. So I truly believe that until you understand that when God is telling you something, he is not telling you to be mean. He's not telling you because he don't want you to have fun. He not telling you because he don't want you to have good sex. That's not what, he wants you to be having some good sex with your spouse. Okay? He's not trying to ruin the fun. He's not trying to kill the vibe. No, he's trying to protect you. He's trying to protect you. He's trying to keep you safe. He's trying to keep you out of harm's way. He's trying to keep you away from people that's going to use you. That's only there to use you. That's only there to drain you. That's only there to take from you. Okay? He's trying to keep you. He's trying to keep STDs away from you. He's trying to get you to protect your body. You know what I'm saying? He's not saying, I don't want you to have sex because he trying to just ruin the vibe. No, he trying to protect you. You know? So you got to understand that too. I think sometimes when we are disobedient, it's just because we don't fully understand the love of God. Because it say that we love him because he first loved us. So first, we got to understand the love of God. You got to understand how much God loved you. And he been teaching me that. Like, just understands how much God loved his people. Even when the person doing wrong, even when they are completely just ignoring what God is saying to them. Because I was thinking in my head, you know, when I seen all this stuff, oh my God, you know, why are you telling me this? Because like I said, I was upset. I'm like, you need to be telling him this. But I'm like, maybe my thought is, maybe he is telling him and he just ignoring him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, I don't know. But anyways, so, yeah. So, I be getting off on like 5 different conversations. But anyways, just know that God is going to test you. Because you're not just waiting or standing for your spouse to change. No. I had it all twisted. In the beginning, like when I was first on this journey, I thought that I don't know if I thought, like, I knew I had work to do on myself. I ain't gonna say that I ever thought that I didn't need to do work on myself, because that wouldn't be true. But I did mainly think that he was the one that mainly needed to change. You know, like I did. I was like, he needs to change because this is too much. You know what I'm saying? But I needed to change too. I had a lot of things that I needed to change and a lot of things that I needed to work on. So and I still do. I'm still working. I'm still healing. Okay. Healing is a big part for me because that's something else that could like hinder your marriage and your relationship. Like if you are, and like I said before in my other videos, do I think is God expecting like us to be like 100% all the way healed? No, because nobody's ever 100% all the way healed. But do you got to get to some level of healing? Yes. Do you have to get to a space to where you can allow someone in? Yes. Do you got to get to a space to where you can openly communicate your feelings? Yes. Do you got to get to a healing point to where you forgive the people that hurt you? Yes. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just certain places that you got to get to so that, like, when your marriage comes, it's not all these triggers and it's not all these trust issues and all of this stuff that can hinder your relationship and your marriage and stuff. So, you know, you just got to work on yourself. We're not just standing, you know, waiting for the other person to change. No, the biggest thing that I learned is, like, I remember one time I remember God told me this in my dream one time when I woke up. He was straight like, that's the only person you... He told me, he said the only person you can control is you. That's what he said. He said the only person you can control is you. And ever since then, he been mainly dealing with me. Like in the beginning, he was telling me everything that was going on with my spouse. He was telling me so much that was going on with him. Like so many prayer points in my dreams that he would want me to pray. And he still give me prayer points for him. And I still pray for him every single day. But what I realized is that God wants to get us, the believing spouse, like very strong in him. And I learned this from Tequila Coleman about growing in power. Okay. And he wants you to grow in the power, right? And she told me this, and he confirmed it. He confirmed what she was teaching me in my dream. He confirmed it to me. And it's like he wants us to grow in his word. He wants us to grow in, just grow in the things of the Lord, so that when we are walking with his power on the inside of us, as soon as we command those demons to come out of the person that is bound, they're going to go and they're going to be set free. So God want to use you to help to set your spouse free. So a lot of this waiting and stuff that we doing, if we're not changing and if we're not growing, the person stay the same and so do you. So this journey, this stance is all about you growing as an individual. You growing in the Lord. You growing in prayer. You growing in spending time in God's presence. You growing in, you're speaking in tongues, growing in the word, stuff like that. You got to grow in the Lord. So this is less about your spouse and more about you. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody say that they want their marriage and stuff like that. But it's like a lot of changes that you got to make. Like, you have got to overcome your fears. Like, y'all, do y'all know, and I'm getting off on tangent because it's supposed to be about lust. But do y'all know that, like, I'll say maybe like 2 years ago, I stopped, like, taking pictures. Maybe it was like 3 years ago. I don't know. But, like, I stopped taking pictures, okay? I had wanted to do YouTube so bad, but I did not want to be on camera. For real, like, I did not want to be on camera. I did not want people, and I'm still overcoming some of them, but y'all gonna see me come out of that. But, like, I didn't want nobody to hear me sing. I didn't want nobody to see me on the camera. I didn't want to take a picture. I did not want to do any of that 3 years ago. Like, you wouldn't have stopped me. Okay. But I had to overcome those fears. I had a fear of starting my business and stuff. Like, I just had all these fears and I had to overcome. You gotta, on this stance, you're gonna have to overcome your fears, your limiting beliefs. Okay, you gotta overcome those. So you're not just like sitting around twiddling your thumbs, just waiting on your spouse. No. The first thing that you're gonna have to do, that God is requiring you to do, is to be abstinent, is to be faithful, is to be loyal, is to cut off any counterfeits. That's the first thing that I did. That's the first thing he taught me, even before he brought me into this stance, right? So God is requiring you to change. He's requiring you to grow as well. Okay, so decide today that you are going to surrender to the Lord. You are going to really start living your life for God. You're going to take your walk with him so serious. Okay, and I'm nowhere near perfect. Okay, I'm nowhere near perfect, so let's not say that. But little by little, God cut things off of me. Like, I remember when he told me, this was like 3 years ago, maybe three or four. No, it had to be like 3 or 2.5. But I remember when he told me, Destiny, get rid of that toy. He was like, get rid of it. He was like, stop doing it. And I did. Because what do I have? The fear of the Lord. You need the fear of the Lord in you. You know? So, you can do this. Okay? You could walk with him. You can, you know what I'm saying? You can do it. You can overcome it. Okay? Even if you gotta be on your knees every day. Lord, help me. Lord, help me. Lord, help me. He said he would strengthen you. Okay? He said if you resist the temptation, it'll flee. Okay? He say, in your weakness, you are actually strong. Because, let me see. It's the scripture. It says, I think it say, when you are weak, he is strong. Or something like that. Yep, that's what it say. Baby, I've been knowing that scripture. What? It says, it's 2 Corinthians 12:9-11. It said, that is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weakness, in insults, in hardships, in persecution, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Okay? He said his grace is sufficient. Okay? It says, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sakes, I delight in weakness, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. He said that when you are weak, baby, that's when the power of God gonna rest on you. Okay? Don't try to do it in your own strength. Don't try to overcome it in your own strength. Okay? If you try to sit there and say, okay, I'm just not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not gonna do it no more. You know, I'm just gonna stop. You know how we be, God, I'm not gonna do that no more. No. You gotta rely on the power of God. It's gonna take the power of God. You ain't gonna be able to just do it in your own strength. Especially if it's something, it's like a weakness for you. My weakness, y'all, was the food. I had to rely on the power of God. For real. To help me to stop, like, giving in to cravings or whatever it was. And I really think that what contributed to me, it's like I just started to get so much control over myself and what I was doing and what I was eating. I had more control over myself. It was the speaking in tongues that helped me. I just noticed that ever since I had started to speak in tongues, I started to have control over myself. Control over my weaknesses. So I would also recommend that too. Is if you are struggling with lust, speak in your heavenly language. Speak in tongues, because it'll help you to get stronger. And then pray. Just say, Jesus, 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 help me. And then too, another thing I would say, how I have been able to be faithful this whole 3 years that I've been standing, is to know I'm not only being faithful to my spouse, I'm being faithful to God. I'm being faithful to my Heavenly Father. You know what I'm saying? And then 2 is to not, I don't put myself in situations that could, like, I don't put myself in any situation that could, you know, that could go into lust. Never. I don't ever put myself in any of those situations, you know. And then 2, I just, if it is a man that because I do work with men, if it is a man that I work with, I let him know off rip. Like, one of my coworkers was trying it with me when he first started. And you got to enforce boundaries with people, and you got to let them know, this is not that. You know what I'm saying? This ain't that, homeboy, okay? You got to let them know. So, it's just, and it's just too, it's like, if you love someone, like, I never understood cheat to begin with, but it's just like, if God promised you someone, why would you want anyone else? Like, you know, why would you? You know what I'm saying? So, I just been talking, like I always do. I've been talking for 46 minutes. I'm finna get off of here, and make my next video and talk some more. But, yeah. That's all I gotta say. I hope that this video helped you in some way, shape, or form. Like I always say, part of you becoming your best self. Okay? Best self. Okay, we trying to become our best self. The best version of you. The best version of Desi. Okay, the best version of Destiny. Okay, is going to require your obedience to God. Okay, so I love you guys with the love of the Lord. I hope that this was helpful. Like I said, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you made it to the end, look at you, boo. You trying to grow. You trying to learn, okay? You trying to get this tea. And you are going to, because you stay to the end to, you know, get the knowledge, okay? You're really wanting to change. So I love that. So keep watching. Okay, I'm gonna try my best. The Lord knows this is what I'm working on, y'all. I'm working on my consistency. I'm working on being consistent, because I used to be a very inconsistent person, but I've been doing good. I've been doing great consistency in the other areas of my life that I'm working on. And I want to be more consistent with my YouTube channel, right? Because God showed me that his people really need deliverance. They really need, you know, they really need support. They really need encouragement. They really need to hear, you know, certain things, certain experiences that I already went through, right? So I hope this helped y'all. I love you guys, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye-bye.